I think part of the reason that Thomas had to go through this ordeal of not seeing the Lord is for our sake. He needed to not witness the Lord and have his own struggles with doubts so that we could wrestle with our own struggles and doubts about who Christ is and who God is. I think he gets a bad rep, but every one of us, I think, at different times have struggled with who God is and is even real, does even exist. These things are written, as the gospel said, so that we may come to believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God. And I think one of the biggest obstacles to people believing in Christ, other than just not being able to see him in our daily lives, not being able to encounter him in a personal way, is the opposite of what we heard in the first reading. In the first reading, we hear about how the apostles and the disciples, they're all in community, sharing things with one another, and the community is just flourishing. And maybe too often in the Catholic Church or in Christian churches in general, that's not an experience that people have. I've even had bad experiences of confessions with priests. I felt terrible about it afterwards because I felt belittled. I've met a lot of people who have stopped going to church because they encountered a priest who was mean or parishioners who are two-faced and gossips and all the rest. And if that's the witness you have of Christianity, then why would you want to be a part of it? We want to be a part of it because Christ is real. I think that's why there's so many of you here today. You'd take time out of your day because it's so important that God's love is real, that you've encountered it in some way, and you have to at least make a return of being here and being in the presence of God and receiving his very flesh and blood. Today is Divine Mercy Sunday. And one of the greatest things we need in our world is mercy. Cancel culture is something I keep hearing about a lot lately, especially with The Mandalorian and all sorts of different people who've been canceled in different ways. Mercy is a really difficult thing to deal with. We have to be able to be merciful in between ourselves as Christians. I know it's really hard for those looking outside into the church who've been hurt by us to want to extend that mercy back to us for our hurting people. But as we keep struggling with our own beliefs and faith in Christ, in God, in his mercy, I hope that lets us encounter people in the world patiently. You might be the only time somebody encounters truly what it means to encounter the love of God because they don't want to come to a church because of the terrible things they've experienced. And so my hope for all of you who are here is that you keep encountering the Lord and your faith keeps deepening. You keep encountering his mercy, his forgiveness, his love for you, and that because you are so filled up with that, you want to take that to the people in your life who've been hurt by the church, who've been hurt by priests, who've been hurt by Christians in general, to show them that love is real, that they could even find a home here at the Newman Center if they're on the college grounds, if they need a place to be, that they can find a home in a community that loves them and accepts them. Please be love for the church to a world that desperately needs Christ's love and mercy.